Our assistant.
All right, here's our next project. Little mid-century coffee table, veneer top, real wood, real wood. The goal is to try to match the color on the underneath. First step, get a couple wire brushes for any angled sanding. And that's where we're starting.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it doesn't have to come all off because it's nice when some old sticks around.
Can you just re-explain?
So we got the power sander out. It was just too labor intensive.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
It's the sanding.
Yeah. So we got 220 grade sandpaper, which is super light, and we need that because this is a veneer. From everything I've researched, you can sand down veneer. You just have to be very careful because it's a very thin layer of polyurethane and then a very thin layer of actual wood. And any thick sandpaper would go through the wood and get to that compressed wood beneath it. So what we want to do is take off this top layer and just pay extra attention, and we're going to leave some of the old finish on because it's kind of cool when you get the two-tone, little vintage, little new, once you restain it. So that's why these have a little left over here too. Like, we're not trying to be perfect with it. From this one strip here, this is the polyurethane, so this is like
That white?
yeah, like a plastic that we're sanding off.
And that's what's underneath. So like the brown.
This is what is sealing that. Yeah, we're sanding that off, and then we're gonna get into wood a little bit.
Okay.
But that's why our sandpaper is so fine, so we can see what we're doing.
And are the fine numbers, is that a high number or a low number?
It's high. So
high number.
This is 220. You can use anywhere from like 180 to like 220. I tried 320 and it didn't really do much for me. That's just like a super fine, and that's usually what we use after we do our own polyurethane to get it just super smooth to the touch.
We go.
Go with the brothers, boo, you know how we do.
If this was like new, then it would be a lot less glossy.
So would you say maybe one more round?
Yeah, we got to keep going until the white sand turns to wood sawdust. So we're stuck. Yeah, go for it. Basically, the issue with veneer is that it's almost like a plastic. And when you sand it down, there's not really wood grain to get to. There is somewhat, but not really. So what we ended up with was...
You can't flip it. So, you were saying?
Veneer is hard to sand through because there's not really wood grain underneath of it. It's just kind of like a coated coating. So I think the first thing we do is test some stain on our current little patch of veneer that we've sanded down. And if it takes nicely and it looks good, then maybe we just say fuck it and sand the rest of it the way through. But if it looks terrible and it doesn't take, then we might stop where we are and reassess a new top for the table. Because the bottom is still great, the bottom is still vintage. And honestly, I feel like this top might be a replacement anyway, because there's no reason why.
Match.
Yeah, the tones of the stain are just so different between the two. It looks like it was a replacement to begin with.
So update is
Varnish
testing
on
a
it.
stain. It might not work. If so, we're gonna figure out a new top. And that's just shit you encounter.
And that's why we put things off.
all the glorious stains.
And some bear spray.
And bear spray.
That's actually
This is the patch we're gonna stain to test out. I don't really have hope because it feels like a freaking ice rink. It's just smooth. Definitely not wood.
the real stain bin.
More stain.
This is the actual stain bin.
The actual stain?
Yeah, this is the leftover bin.
Ah.
Like we can't fit everything in here. Some reupholstery shit.
Pink?
Filler. Pink paint. I think this is what we're using. The glove.
Go with the brothers, boo, you know how we do. It's not
Moment of truth.
Nope. Definitely not.
This is like nothing to soak into.
Yeah. It's plastic.
Yeah. Sick. I mean, that's not even soaked in, it's just like on it.
Yeah. So,
Okay, guess we're gonna find a new top.
what else I want to try is just staining the wood that we did sand down. The real wood. Seeing where that gets us.
It's not for me to say you love.
I mean, it looks great on the real wood. It matches.
Yeah, it does actually match the bottom.
The bottom just need a little touch up. Look brand new.
Okay, well, obviously that is wood, so it's going on it. But it's either gonna be a two-tone table, which now is like kind of botched because of this area, or you replace the top.
Yeah. There's another idea there.
Another idea,
Yeah. We could
which is
kind of get artsy with it. Tape off a perfect square and paint it.
tape off a perfect square.
Tape off this tabletop and, and have it so.
You mean a rectangle? And do like black or...
Yes.
I see. That way there's only a little bit of veneer showing.
Basically the veneer will be painted over completely.
Oh, so just tape off the exact top
Yep.
and then paint it, I would say black.
Black would fit us. Would fit our
Or
house.
white.
White is pretty hot shit.
White is hot shit.
Especially for mid-century.
Yeah.
And then we would have to seal it off too.
Okay, that's a good idea. I think maybe I can find some like examples online or something for inspo.
I can show you a number of pieces too. I feel like it's like the mid-century. I always wondered why mid-century pieces had like white paint.
Yeah.
I feel like that might be a reason why.
Yeah.
But that's a totally uneducated, unfounded guess.
Lunchtime?
Please. Starve and Marvin.
So we're just finishing staining the edges of the table. It's pretty boring. As you can see, this whole video has been basically time-lapse. But we're gonna eat some lunch and then update you once it's dry. Quick update.
So since we had all the plastic sanded off, or at least a lot of it, it would take some of that. We put this coating around it and then just went over this top once, and it
Actually looks really good. The sun's kind of like putting a glare on it, but I think it looks really good actually.
actually looks good, right?
Seems to blend.
Yeah, it does.
We just now have this issue.
The it's gonna be sold as is.
Yeah.
Didn't have to be that way, but you live and you learn.
Mm-hmm.
Still a really nice piece.
Yeah. Cute. Now we gotta let it dry though.